Have you ever thought about coming closer? Closer. Okay, maybe that was a little too close. All right, back it up, back it up. All right, everybody, that is my intro. Hello, everybody, this is That Manga Dude, and welcome to another FVI. Today, we are talking about the wonderful series, or 4 wonderful releases that came out in the beautiful month of May 2025. To be fair, there was a lot of manga that came out, like a lot of manga, like way too much manga. Holy moly, a lot of volume 1s, a lot of one-shots. It was crazy, and I had to only choose 4. And the 4 that I chose are all very, very good, as you would expect. So yeah, it's going to be a really fun one. I hope you're excited, so let's get started right now. Okay, so this first volume, originally released in September of 2022 in Shueisha's Shonen Jump Plus app/website, and that is going to be Yo Chiba's Kindergarten Wars Volume 1. Yes, sirree, boss. We got it from Yen Press, and I actually got this as a review copy, so thank you very much to Yen Press for gifting this to me, even though I was definitely going to buy it regardless if I got it for free or not. Okay, let's talk about translation and lettering. We have translation from Christine and Dashiell, and the lettering from Phil Christie. And now let's talk about this cover and spine. It is awesome. I love it a lot. I love the color scheme of black and yellow. It looks really cool. I love that they use kind of like these like children's block kind of logo / font for the author's name, or for the mangaka's name. I really like how Kindergarten Wars is written. I just really like this entire illustration. Looks really cool. The back, it's not as entertaining, but I do like that they keep the black, yellow, and red as the color scheme for the back. It looks really nice. And then this spine looks really, really good. I gotta say, fantastic work. Okay, so I've decided to change my FVI formula up. I think I'm going to be fusing the characters and the story together because I feel like it's more organic that way, and hopefully it works out. I did experiment with it in a previous video, and it worked really well, so let's get into it. The story for the series is Rita, who is our main character right here, works at a kindergarten that hosts the children of some of the most influential people in the country, which means that the school is consistently under siege by kidnappers and murderers alike. Rita, and all of the workers, however, are all prisoners that are attempting to lower or finish their sentences by working here. Her goal is to find the love of her life, but she has the wild, ridiculous flaw of falling head over heels for good-looking men, regardless of their motives, which means that she ends up falling for a lot of these people who are trying to kidnap or murder these children. Can she complete her 2 missions without completely falling apart? And yes, this premise is absolutely ridiculous, but it is a lot of fun. Rita is a hilarious character. She's very well done. I love the comedy beats. I like the mix of the comedy and the action together, and also a little bit of that mystery as well. Like, how did they come up with this program where prisoners or inmates are currently like working at this kindergarten, and like how do they all get there and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of, we're all building that in the background while having these little guy like gag moments between each of these like current assassins who are trying to go after these kids. It's a very fun first volume. I really enjoyed it. The pacing is very strong, and I really like how the characters are all like kind of like working well with each other. Like Rita's really great with this guy, which I'm forgetting his name. But it's honestly a ton of fun. It's very enjoyable if you're looking for like kind of like a Sakamoto Days-esque series in terms of a story that's a little bit ridiculous and has to do with assassins / former assassins. This one I think is right down that alley. Now, in terms of the art, I think the art is really good. I think the action sequences are extremely well done. Like I mentioned before, the gags are hilarious, perfectly drawn, really great facial expressions across the board. I love it like when the characters get like a little too serious, and it makes it just really, really funny. I think that this art style really melds well with that kind of like heavy action and heavy comedy mixed together. It makes for a really entertaining read, just in general. Like, look, just to give you like some examples right off this like panel here. I don't want to flip through too much because I don't want to spoil like what happens. But yeah, just a lot of like really nice impact panels just across the board. Paneling's really strong. It's just an overall really well done series, and I really enjoyed this first volume. So if you're looking for an extremely fun, entertaining, and fairly, not super deep, but deep enough that'll keep you interested in wanting to read more, I think this is a very good first volume. Okay, coming into our second volume, this series originally released in Akita Shoten's Souffle in September of 2021, and that is going to be A Witch's Life in Mongol by Tomato Soup. Yes, that is the name of the manga, and this is volume 1. Now, let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have translation from Amanda Haley and lettering from Ayla Nagamine. Now, let's talk about this cover and spine. So, while I'm not typically the biggest fan of the white background with the character on the front, this works really well in terms of the context of the series because it just looks like a really nice like tapestry. I love like the designs that they have on the side here for the front and the back cover. They look really, really cool. I love that the font they used, or like whatever the font or the style design of the title, looks really, really nice. The character obviously looks really good in color. And just, yeah, overall, I think it's actually a pretty good cover considering that I don't typically like these white backgrounds with the character on the front, but overall I do like it, and I think it's great in terms of the context of the story. So let's get into that story. So we have our character here. Her name is Satira. She is a young girl who's being sold off to be a slave for a rich family in the city of Tus, which is located in Iran. She loves learning and knowledge, but she's trying to find a way to return home because obviously since she's a slave, she's been taken away from her home, so she's trying to get back to that. Suddenly, though, the Mongols invade her new home, and now she is being taken along with many others to the Mongol Empire. The story now follows Satira, also known as Fatima to some people, as she uses her wits and knowledge to exact revenge upon the empire that destroyed her new home. So it's a pretty interesting story, and honestly, it gets very dark very quickly. So if you're looking for something a little bit more lighthearted, you're not gonna really find that here. But I'm really enjoying how this story has already started up. It's written extremely well. It pays homage, and it gives a lot of context in terms of what was going on during this time, especially during like the rule of the Mongol Empire and like Genghis Khan and all that kind of stuff. And just overall, I just really enjoy the premise. I really enjoy the characters as well. A lot of the characters are really, really good, including Fatima. She's great. And the other Fatima, which I won't get into. You'll just have to read the story. But there is a lot of really great moments already. The emotional, I think like there's already a lot of very strong emotional moments, both positive and like negative in terms of like being sad and just angry. And I really like where the characters' motives are, because you can kind of tell who's got like certain motives, who's got ulterior motives, whose motives are very obvious and in your face. And it's just overall very well done. I really enjoy the story, and I really enjoy the characters. And that's not even getting into the art, which is this fantastic style. I love it so very much. I'm going to try to only flip through like the beginning, but I really love like the pattern design. I really love the I think the attention to detail is extremely well done. I love the proportions for the characters, giving this kind of more like old school 40s like 50s cartoon style look, also a la Osamu Tezuka, but really like pushing forward its own kind of style. I think like it pays homage to those older styles while also being unique and very special. I think it's just a really, really beautiful series. I love the backgrounds. I love the character designs. Just overall, it's a lot of fun, and it also like flows really well just across the board. There's a lot to love in A Witch's Life in Mongol, and I know I'm kind of biased because I was expecting this to be really good, but it kind of blew my expectations away. I really, really enjoyed it. If you're looking for more of like a heavier story driven with one singular character, it's very similar to A Bride Story in terms of like that kind of Central Asia / South / West Asia. I think you're going to really, really enjoy this. Obviously, the stories are very different because A Bride Story is a little bit more slice of life, and A Witch's Life in Mongol is definitely more of like a kind of political thriller drama. I don't really know how to explain it, but it is extremely good. Like I said, definitely worth picking up just for the art alone, but the story will really captivate you, and I think you're going to have a great time with it. Okay, coming into our third series, this originally released in Shogakukan's monthly Sunday Gene X, and I forgot to put a date, but I'm assuming it was in the late 2020 or in the 2020s, and that is going to be Cosmos from Ryuhei Tamura. Yes, sir, boss. All right, let's talk about this. People who worked on this really quick. We have ourselves translation from Casey Lowe, touch-up art and lettering from Stephen Dutro, design from Ian Miller, and editor is Annette Roman. So, yes, let's talk about this cover and spine. Unfortunately, it hits the character with the white background, so it's not particularly too interesting in that aspect. But I do think the character is, well designed. I do like the space aesthetic that's going on within her suit. Looks really cool. I like the logo. I think the logo is pretty awesome as well. Yeah, so overall, it's a little bit underwhelming in terms of that, but I still think it's a decent design. Going into the story. So the story is very, very fascinating, and I actually really do like it. So, Kaede, who is not this person, he is going to be, come on, where is he? There he is. So this is Kaede. Kaede is never really close to anyone because he could smell when someone lies. And after a friend of his goes missing, he is unintentionally thrown into the wild and wacky world of alien insurance. Yes, you heard that right. Alien insurance. With his unique ability, he is offered a position for said insurance company, and now it's kind of about him learning the ropes of how to become like kind of a life insurance agent for aliens across the board. Very strange premise, but really, really just some very heartfelt moments, and kind of just like overall a very interesting mix of like this kind of like sci-fi, kind of slice of life, kind of drama series, all put together, mixed in a nice little plot. I think the story is really well done. I think they're really building up to something that's going to be quite interesting, and even just the little moments between the characters, especially with the various aliens. You have a lot of like little life moments, like kind of like the idea of just trying to survive, and like kind of like the cruelty of insurance and how like ridiculous insurance can be. And I think it's kind of funny to see an attack on the insurance agency, or insurance in general, like especially the entire industry, because it is very very parasitic, I would say. Like, I feel like insurance is one of those very scammy kind of industries just in general. And I think Cosmos does a really good job of kind of like teetering on that line of like showing the importance of it while also showing like the dark sides of it, while showing those like lower moments as well. So it's a very weird premise, but I think you'll come to enjoy just how interesting everything is, and like how well thought out it all is as you go out through the first volume. Going into the art, it's pretty good across the board. Some pretty solid action just across the board. Some pretty decent character designs as well. Really nice backgrounds. Some really just fun shots across the board. I think overall it's pretty good. Like, I think there's a lot of stuff to enjoy in terms of the art, but it's not gonna blow you away per se, at least in my personal opinion. But I think overall, Cosmos will be a fun time. If you like Ryuhei Tamura, who is the mangaka behind Beelzebub, which is a series that I have not personally read, but I've heard is really, really fun, I think you're going to enjoy this one. And anyways, just give it a shot in general, just see how you feel about it, and then let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Let's refocus now. This last series originally released all the way back in 1975 in Bisatsu Shojo comic, and its sequel releasing in 1976 and 1977 respectively. That is going to be the Giant Chungus series. That is They Were 11 from Moto Hagio. Oh my goodness, we finally have it in English again. And it is fully complete. We have it right here. It is Giungus, if you couldn't tell. Let me just give you an idea of how big it is. Kindergarten Wars is the size of a typical tankobon volume, but They Were 11 is quite large, as you can see. Let's put a second on top of each other just to give you an idea. Like, it's really big, okay? Let's talk about who worked on this really quick. We have translation from Ajani Oloye. Proofreading is from Momo, and the production is Nicole Dochich and Lauren Eldon. Yes, and this is also from Dempa, I just wanted to mention. So this is from a smaller publisher, which is cool to see. Now, this cover and spine, it's gorgeous. It looks beautiful, wonderful color, wonderful watercolor cover. It looks really, really good. I love the embossing that they've done to have this character pop up, as well as like this character. Like, there's a lot of like little moments where like the characters are popping out, which looks really cool. I really love how They Were 11 is placed with the font. It looks really great. Very good spine as well. Back cover, absolutely gorgeous. Like, whew, I mean, it's a remarkable release. This is a very, very beautiful release, and I love it quite a bit. Now, going into our story, it's a two-part story, so I'm going to talk about both of them just kind of in general. First story follows a story about 10 space cadets who are currently taking a test to become full-fledged students at Cosmo Academy, which is like this elite school for astronauts and various people going into space. And their test takes them to an old spaceship where they must survive for 53 days in groups of 10. However, something is not right. There are 11, or they were 11 people. Da-da-da! So that's what the first part is. The first part is about this entire test, who they're trying to figure out who like the imposter is, or if this imposter is even like a bad person, a good person. They don't really know. Then the second section is after the test. The second part is much longer than the first part, actually. And it follows like kind of like the aftermath of the test and what they're all up to basically after the fact. And it follows the story of four of the characters who are Tada, Froll, King, and Fourth. And yeah, it's a lot to explain, but it is a genuinely bonkers story. It is a lot of fun. It's very intense from start to finish. Even when you get the little quieter moments, you still are like have all this like political thriller just going on just in general in the second part. First part is a fantastic like sci-fi mystery, and it's just extremely well done. Fantastic character designs just across the board, even though that has to do with the art, but really well done. All of the characters are so unique and very different from one another. It's easy to differentiate even just from not just from the character designs but from their writing as well. You get to see various characters from different backgrounds, which is really awesome. And it's just really well crafted. I mean, what a story. It's really hard to put down. Honestly, I had to only put it down because I realized it was getting to almost midnight, and I don't usually stay up that long, especially during a weekday, so I had to put it down and be like, okay, I need to finish this later. But it is a really great story just across the board, and it gets finished within this volume, so that's really awesome as well. Going into the art is absolutely gorgeous. It has like some wonderful color pages, which is so flipping great to see. I won't say it's very rare. It has become more common nowadays for them to add the color pages, but the color pages are absolutely gorgeous. Moto Hagio, fantastic artist. She is like absolute killer. She is well known for being one of the pioneers of like shoujo manga in general, and she's one of the best of the best. And yes, this series notwithstanding, it looks fantastic, and it's just been really well presented just across the board. A lot of wonderful panels, just beautiful stuff. I really love like these surreal moments that Moto Hagio has. Like, this is a great example out of context. I really love it. Like she mixed like with just really great paneling, very strong compositions across the board. It's great. It's so good. Oh my goodness, this is like a fantastic release, and I'm like so happy that Dempa finally released it. It took them forever. Took them probably longer than should have been, but I'm really, really happy that it has finally released because this is a really, really good release. All right, here comes the hardest part, and that is going to be ranking these four series. And this is going to be a really hard one because I'm not 100% sure what I think is my favorite because I like them for completely different reasons. I will say Cosmos is going to be the bottom one just because it's just not I don't like it as much as the other three. I think the other three do a lot of things really, really well, and I think Cosmos does some things pretty well, but not necessarily as interesting or as entertaining as these other three. So unfortunately, Cosmos is number 4. And then I think I'm going to put Kindergarten Wars at number 3. It's very, very good. I just happen to like these two a little bit more. And this is where it gets hard because between A Witch's Life and Mongol and They Were 11, these two are so good and for completely different reasons. They both have absolutely gorgeous art styles, even though they are very different from one another. Really great stories across the board, and it's just. I think I'm gonna go this. I think I'm gonna go A Witch's Life in Mongol at number 2 and They Were 11 at number 1. They Were 11 is just really, really well done. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's so good to read. Such an interesting, complex, intricate story that's being told so well, and especially from back in the 70s, it feels so progressive, even for the time. So I really, really enjoyed that, and I just really enjoyed They Were 11. I think it's aged extremely well. And I'm really happy to have picked this up. So yeah, Have you read any of these 4 series? Let me know in the comments below. Are you planning to read any of these 4 series? Let me know in the comments below. And you know what to do. You can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things. And I thank you so much for watching and for getting me to 5,000 subscribers. Holy moly. I forgot to even mention that at the beginning of the video. 5,000 subscribers. Thank you so very much. You guys have made this such an exciting year already. It's been absolutely wonderful and exciting and so much fun. And thank you very, very, very much. There will be a special video to come out for the 5,000 subscriber special. I don't know when it's going to release just yet, but expect it down in the pipeline. And you know what to do. Like I said, you can like, you can comment, you can subscribe. Those are all amazing things. And yes, that's going to be the end of this FVI. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.